If you're a freedom-loving, pro-human American in the year 2022, it should be obvious to you by now that the federal government hates you. Over the past 2 years, this tyrannical institution has subjected all of us to a hellacious circus of psyops that strives ever upwards towards the peak of clown world. However, you and I both know that there is no peak to clown world. So how do we get off this ride? What do? Let's take a moment to remind ourselves where we're currently at.
Where are we at?
And then explore a solution that few people are talking about right now. Subscribing to an ideology that rejects God and objective reality, our government is attempting to steer America towards an anti-human, transhumanist future. To pave the way for this, definitions can be rewritten and memory hold at their request. The First Amendment is subject to a biased algorithm curated by limp-wristed metrosexuals in California. A nightmare, you say? Nay, this is democracy. This is progress. This is their truth.
Your sperm don't make you male.
Then what does?
It's a constellation.
In reality, in truth, okay?
Whose truth are we talking about?
The establishment's idea of progress means demolishing restraint against our baser impulses and desires. In an age where millions are atomized by social media and struggle to feel anything real, the causes of progressivism embolden the liberal masses by fueling their egos and giving them a sense of purpose. Whether it's through the compliance of urbanite champagne clinkers or the belligerent rage of outright psychotics, the federal government is furthering their agenda by openly encouraging this standing army of moral relativist children. The cement has hardened, and the people who remain ignorant will most likely never wake up to the evil that they are supporting. So what do? Solutions to this madness appear hard to come by. Grab the muskets? No. The feds want nothing more than for a LARPy conservative uprising to happen so they can institute full martial law. Various alumni of the Ray Epps Drama School have attempted to provocateur this with hilarious results.
If you blow my truck up, man, hey, it's on you, Joe. I'm ready to die for cause. I'm ready to die for cause.
Sure, Jan.
They've revealed what they want most of all, and we must not give them that. But wait, how about voting our way out of this?
You serious?
Again, what do? I believe that the solution to this open tyranny begins by asking a single question. Should we still be a part of this? Should we still be a part of this corrupt, degenerate federal machine that is powered by blackmail and is actively engaged in a demonic pact with anti-human, postmodernist pedophiles? Why are we stuck playing hand after hand in this openly rigged card game? Why are we still here? It's time for freedom-loving Americans to begin a national conversation on the subject of peaceful divorce, secession, yes, the S word. We have a hard time even saying the word secession because we've been gaslit into thinking that leaving a rigged card game is somehow being unreasonable or cowardly. Or maybe it's because generations of history class programming has taught us to associate the word secession with other fun words like slavery and racism. Let's conclude this report by examining two secessionist movements happening right now. The Greater Idaho movement, started by a man named Mike McCarter, is a campaign to merge the conservative state of Idaho with the eastern section of Oregon. Eastern Oregon is predominantly rural, conservative, and can no longer tolerate the city of Portland speaking for them. While the movement is still young, it's nonetheless gaining traction and has support from the state of Idaho as well. However, the liberal media has wasted no time scoffing at it with pompous Marvel movie sarcasm.
Okay, so what is Move Oregon's border?
We want to adjust the border, taking Eastern Oregon, shifting to Idaho, to help maintain the conservative values that Idaho has over there.
You're like the first guy I've ever met who wants to go to Idaho.
Amazing. They still don't understand that patronizing "I'm so much smarter than you" tone is what got Trump elected in 2016. Ultimately, the U.S. Congress would need to approve of this border shift should the movement come to pass. This process is outlined in the Constitution and has happened before. Eastern Oregonians are exercising their rights to self-determination in order to be represented by those who share their best interests. There's literally nothing wrong with this. We wish them the best. The Texas Nationalist Movement, or TEXIT, seeks to go a step further than Greater Idaho. Spearheaded by Daniel Miller, the movement wants to separate Texas from the federal government and reestablish the state as the independent republic it once was. He poses a question that should make any frustrated, freedom-loving Texan think. If you were an independent, self-governing nation, would you vote to join the Union right now? If you wouldn't vote to join, then why would you stay? Texas is a strong candidate to pull off secession and prosper on the other side. The state already pays more into the federal system than it receives, despite what the snarky columnists may say. Should Texit come to pass, pressing issues like border security could finally be addressed without bureaucratic gridlock and moralist condemnation. Texit seeks to put the question of secession to a statewide referendum, fully adhering to the principle that such a hefty decision should be fueled by the will of the people. Will the federal government allow the will of the people to manifest calmly and peacefully? Or will they block the exit door like an abusive lover, fearing the loss of their precious punching bag? Time will tell whether these movements are successful, but here's the final point. Separation does not have to be violent. It can and should end amicably. The right isn't instigating a cultural war with the aim of total domination. We are not the aggressors, we are the preservers. We just want to be left alone and treated with dignity and respect by our countrymen and representatives. Unfortunately, neither of these two things are happening anymore. This is not conspiracy theory. We have the videos, the cuts, the bruises, and the caskets to prove it.
They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. Then they fan the flames of political violence.
If you find yourself getting triggered over the idea of breaking up the U.S., make sure you're not engaged in idol worship over this symbol. Don't salute a flag. Salute the pro-human principles that the flag represents. But ask yourself this question, and be honest. Are those principles really being honored by our leaders right now? Do the majority of your countrymen value and honor these principles as well? We must peacefully consolidate our sovereignty back to the states to preserve that which made America great in the first place. If we don't, we all go down in this ship of fools together. We've tried to be civil and compromise, but it's clear now more than ever that certain values are exempt from compromise. Things like bodily autonomy, the protection of children, and the right to worship as we see fit are not up for debate. The solution is not to fight, but to go our separate ways peacefully and never look back. The solution is national divorce. This is the PsyOp Cop for Infowars.com.